Hey guys, Rinji here. Once again bringing you the worst out of the VTuber community. And it's spooky month still. And what's spookier in the year 2023 as having political opinions on Twitter and having them challenged by VTubers that are just a little bit unhinged? But we'll get into that. I personally do not like political topics in any parts of my entertainment. In my shut down your brain, just enjoy it type of entertainment. But there are VTubers sometimes that really like to engage in it, and it never turns out well. And it doesn't turn out well for this VTuber either, as they decided to comment on a political post explaining the discrepancies between left wing and right wing crime punishment. So let's take a look at that. 10 years in prison for a meme. 17 years in prison for removing part of a metal temporary fence. 18 months in prison for throwing a Molotov cocktail into a police car in the middle of NYC. 1/6 protest. No death except unarmed Trump supporters. Barely any damage, lasted 3 hours. Thousands prosecuted. No one charge was dropped. BLM riots, 700 officers injured, 2 billion in damages, lasted for months, 2,000 felony arrests dropped, vandalize, destroy and firebomb pro-life clinics and no one ever tries to prosecute you. Stand, pray and hand out literature in front of an abortion clinic and face up to 11 years in prison. This is Joe Biden's America, where justice is handed down based on your allegiance to the party. Which is probably true, doesn't really matter which side of the fence you're standing here on. If you followed any of that stuff, you know how the justice system in the United States is skewed towards one side. But this is not what this video is about. This is about this particular VTuber. And he responded to this post with, "I see nothing but good news here. Put your glasses on. All racists, transphobes, homophobic, misogynists, and Islamophobes and Nazis should be publicly executed." Now, isn't that normal, Jim? Isn't that normal, my dear viewers? Man, the left's such a peaceful, tolerant peoples. I'm sure they don't want to use VTubing for anything nefarious. I wonder what they're doing today. Advocating genocide. Learn the definition of genocide, please. I'm not advocating to destroy a national, ethnic, religious, or racial group. Nor am I advocating to destroy a group based on sex/gender or sexual orientation. Advocating against literal Nazis and racists isn't genocide. It's morally right. And the left, lol. If I don't fit your agenda, you assume my political standpoint. I'm third party because both your parties are crazy and extremist. Which you can probably tell lacks a certain level of awareness, considering he thinks that by being the odd one out on this sort of thing doesn't make him an extremist, especially with opinions like that. Considering he treats people that, want to have a just system as little Nazis, racists, and transphobes, what have you, that he decided to list out there. And he's the reasonable one among left-leaning or right-leaning people. And you might say, Kuri, this has to be bait, right? Like, this is too obvious of a bait. No, sadly it's not. I've looked through this person's profile. I always make sure that I'm not falling for something stupid like this, but no. This person is probably serious. And I've seen plenty of weird advocating for violence coming from lefties, coming from righties too. It's never ending when it comes to things like this. And usually the party that is advocating for anything violent are belonging to people like this. Skoru Cat Spirit VTuber with an exclamation mark. And yeah, it's as disappointing as you see it. This is one of the reasons VTubers shouldn't engage in anything political. I've seen plenty of discussions going around with, "Oh, you're an entertainer. You have a platform of any size, you should use this responsibility to advocate for social justices. Make sure that people everywhere know what side you're standing on, and if you have the right mindset, if you are making sure that all the people that are marginalized, that are oppressed, have a safe space in your community, which usually turns out to be the most toxic hellhole you wandered into. But I have videos on that as well, so you can make sure and check those out. But for right now, that's everything, and I hope to see you on the next one.